From CRI Simple Numbers, this is Profitability Playbook, the Simple Numbers Podcast, a podcast for those championing market growth and anchoring the nation's economy, small businesses, and entrepreneurs.
Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Simple Numbers Profitability Playbook Podcast. I'm Mike Maxson, that's Brandon Gray, and we got a special guest with us. And Brandon, take it away. This is your boy. You introduce him.
All right. So we've got the OG of guests from the Simple Numbers Profitability Playbook Podcast. Justin Allred's back with us. He was our first guest. Mike, it's probably been, a year and a half or something like that since we started having guests on. And so Justin was kind enough.
Oh, it has been that long.
Yeah, he was kind enough to be our guinea pig. And so we've invited him back. A little bit of a different type of episode. You know, we've been pretty heavy into numbers lately. And so we're going to take a little bit of a turn and talk about something that I'm passionate about. I know Justin and Mike are both passionate about as well. And it's this concept around the ability and the platform that entrepreneurs have to give back to their communities. And so, you know, we many times as we're working with clients, we'll discuss, you know, hey, here's what we have in after-tax profit, investments you can make in your business, and all that's great. And we have a lot who will designate a portion of those profits, or whether it's something related to their church, to a school, to a nonprofit that they're passionate about, to investing back in their team, just many different things there that a lot of our clients are passionate about. And so we asked Justin if he would to join us today because he has that same kind of view. And so, you know, I think your takeaway as you're listening today is if that's not something you've been doing, hopefully it will pique your interest and kind of go, you know what, I can change some lives here. And if you are doing it, hopefully it serves as an encouragement and maybe even gives you some ideas of additional things that you may look to do. So that's what we want to discuss and cover. So Justin, welcome back. Glad to have you, man. Appreciate your time and being willing to chat with us a little bit today.
Yeah, Brandon, Mike, thank you all for inviting me and having me. It's always a pleasure.
So Justin, for those who didn't listen to the first time he was on with us, Justin's an entrepreneur, an investor, runs a couple of very successful businesses, has some investments going on outside of that. And as I said, has really kind of made an effort to give back. So a couple different ways there. So Justin, let's kind of kick us off first. Tell us a little bit about the way that, you know, just internally with the companies that you guys have, that you give back to your team.
Well, I mean, Brandon, I think it goes back to all the way back to high school. I remember in home ec, even volunteering time for Special Olympics, and even during Christmas for a local mental hospital here, Riverbend, home ec taking us down there and us buying gifts for those kids. So I think it was grounded into me young. But I also think as I've grown in my faith, seeing it typically comes back twofold. Not being the only reason I do it, but I just love being able to help people, and being a people person, being a people organization. My companies are not successful without the people that are here with me today.
Right.
And I think you've got to give back to receive God's got in store for you.
No doubt about it. Agree with that 100% as well. So with the team, I know you guys do something pretty cool with your leadership team, your executive team. We've had clients many times will kind of talk about, okay, we want to do year-end bonuses and all that. And don't get me wrong, all that's great. But tell folks a little bit about the experience that folks have with the speakers and the trips that you guys take to further their education.
So on the construction side of things, the way I give back to my entire construction team, and there's a couple different stages throughout the year to be able to be a part of we call it the leadership conference. So the Pearson Allred Leadership Conference that I do in September. We've been to Nashville and ate at a good steakhouse and loved on each other for 2 days. And then I started stepping it up, and we've been going to the Four Seasons in Orlando, doing a day in Disney or Universal. This past year, we drove NASCAR there at Daytona Speedway. And then we have 2 days of class of where I lead. We have speakers come in. Michael Jordan's mental coach, Tim Grover, has came 2 years in a row.
Oh, I bet that was awesome.
Yes, it was great. And in this past year, this past leadership conference, we had a competition where the team built dog houses, and it was all in Spanish instructions. There was a Spanish job foreman, and then a group of white and black guys made up of his team, but they could only speak Spanish. And
Wow.
seeing those guys together, the smiles, and also working out the conflict. But that is one portion of where I give back to my internal team. More than just giving a bonus or a Christmas bonus or a year-end bonus or profitability split. I try to take them somewhere and get away and to spend 3 days together.
Just kind of curious. Obviously, I'm sure they love the trip, doing some pretty cool things. But have you noticed anything or kind of picked up on something from your team that maybe they did a little bit differently, or they were able to kind of work through as a product of being able to attend those sessions?
Yeah, opening that floor to the conflict resolution, I've seen help attitudes when we get back. Them being able to know they're in a safe zone and being able to express how they feel or how somebody made them feel is a big part of that conference.
Good deal. So that's with the team, and what I like there, is it's not just about the dollars. Everybody appreciates the dollars, but what are you doing for your team that's going to help them as people? And Tim Grover, Justin mentioned him, so we're reading his book Relentless right now for the book club for our community model members. So we're definitely Tim Grover fans, and I don't know that you can find a better one whenever it comes to the mental aspect of high performers and the way that they handle their business.
Yeah. The way I do that is a lot of John Maxwell. I try to send out something positive weekly, but then when I'm with my team, when I get a platform and have everybody together, I try to give some kind of leadership talk of even on the personal side of things of how to make relationships at home better, attitude, which is huge, and then also give financial help. If we could do we do small segments on that at times.
Hey,
Good
Justin, I
deal.
have a question for you. Be in the, and this is always something that's going to come up, so I don't have no problem asking it, but in giving back to your team, have you seen the added benefits of that? And what I mean by is employees stay longer, engagements better, or stuff like that. And the reason being is because a lot of people sometimes think it's just about pay or it's just about, hey, the office is clean and things like that. But have you seen more of a coming together of the group, the community aspect amongst the team, maybe the longevity of how long they stay, the interactions with each other, all of that?
I think what I see is a group of about 125 people that would probably take a bullet for me, is how I would kind of describe that. One, respect is earned, not demanded. So me giving back to them really lets them know that I care. But I wouldn't say the longevity. We have longevity, but I start my interviews with I either want to go to your funeral or you go to mine, or they know that from day one that and we can be, of course, we have turnover just like everybody, and we can be a stepping stone. We lost a great executive, a couple months back that teared up in the meeting as he was telling me about it. And he said, if I wouldn't have been under your wing and under your leadership, I couldn't even think about accepting the role that I'm accepting. That makes me happy for
Right.
somebody to improve. And who knows, he might come back at a higher level. So, but what I see when we get back from that conference is a group of guys, or I get back from my accounting retreat with the accountants, which are mostly made up of females in my organization. The attitude is at its highest. And you'll notice as you progress throughout the year, things start coming back down, but then you have that again and you're back high again, is what I see. So, you've got to love on them. It's not always you're not going to be able to do one conference and the level just stay at the highest level it can.
So shifting gears just a little bit, community. So I know one thing Justin and I are both passionate about is sewing into young people. So Justin, tell us a little bit about a couple of things that you've done and have going on right now to kind of help out the youth in the local community.
Man, Brandon, I would say my biggest flag that is dear to my heart is probably the robotics program at Brooks High School. I was contacted by Miss Pettis when she started that program, and I've been able to financially support them each year for, I think we might be going on 8 or 9 years. They just finished their competition actually over the weekend.
Right.
Man, got more awards than they've ever gotten, and headed down to, I think it's in Auburn this year, or Birmingham, to the South's Best, where schools from all over the state will be there. So being able to financially support them, but not only just always writing them a check, but I require for those group of guys, or those guys and ladies who's on the board of the robotics team that's typically made up of juniors and seniors for that year, come in and present a budget, and we go through it.
Nice.
And I break it down.
That's good.
And I try to get them out of their comfort zone. Okay, I'd like to see y'all be able to take a charter bus. Here's the cost. Who's going to call? And let's see if we can negotiate this. How did they do that per mile? Where can we save a little bit? And that's probably my highlight of giving back to the young people, to the community. I mean, this past year is the Brooks High School press box. That was
right.
Brooks High School is dear to me. And seeing a facility that was becoming a liability, I think it might even have been a liability since I've been there and graduated in 2004. But to watch the community, just the wow factor of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the clout. It's not. It's just seeing people enjoy it. I would say is my biggest thing to me.
And I can speak a little bit about the press box, because Brooks is the program that I volunteer with. And, as Justin said, they had an old press box, and yes, definitely a liability. Whenever you walk in it, it moves. That's not good when you're 35 feet in the air. And, especially in different parts of the country, we've got listeners from all over, school funding is needed regardless of where you are, but especially if you're dealing with like county schools and what have you, there's just not as much of a tax base there. And so facility improvements are a challenge for a lot of our schools. And, in our area where Brooks is located, Friday Night Lights is hard to beat. It's where the community is all together. And, so Justin was instrumental in donating a press box, which was a process. There's a lot that has to go on to get a press box, from just a red tape perspective, and, and also, just from the construction, because there was limited space and, getting equipment, materials in and out and what have you. And Justin's team did a great job with that. But what was really cool was to see the reaction from the community that, hey, we've got some, people in our community who really care about us, care about our schools, care about our kids, something to be proud of. And it may sound simple, to the outsiders, like, well, it's just a press box. Now, it's a press box with additional covered seating and some suite areas and what have you, to where, it's one of those things that everybody takes great pride in. And it was kind of the buzz of the community, and still is for quite some time. So, Justin, I'll tell you, unfortunately, our football season ended last week in the playoffs. And there's a tradition with all the seniors to walk the field one last time. And one of the moms came out and wanted to take a picture, and she said, I want to be sure the press box is in the background. Because that was kind of went along with their senior year, and it was the first year that was there. So it was really, really cool for them. So, definitely appreciated. And like I said, it just really makes an impact on the community, brings people together. One other thing that I know you've done, Justin, is pouring into, the character and the development of young people. Had a speaker, Katie Hill, come in and speak, for several of the local schools. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, sir. I've been blessed enough that I actually got to bring in one of my best friends um, as a PR director as we growed. And I'd had this vision and talked to Coach Bowen about it, about bringing in a speaker, financially covering the cost of the event, but making the team members that were going to come, when we started with the football teams, making them sell a ticket and then letting that money get back to the program. And this past year, we were able to pull that off. We were calling it the Gridiron Conference. We did it at my church, Faith Church. Brought in Katie Hill from Ole Miss. Had a great dinner. I was able to give a little leadership talk, and then Katie did his talk. And we had 5 football teams there. And Brandon, you might have to help me, but I think it was we had Brooks, Sheffield, Florence, West Morgan, and there was one other school up, Wilson, yeah, Trey Lane. And why that is so special to me is as I mentioned, Trey Lane. We graduated together. We grew up together. West Morgan, Drew Phillips. We graduated together, got in trouble together. I mean, me and Drew are still very close. And to be able to give back and let those guys be a part of that, as I can financially do it and get to share some leadership and us love on those young boys, was just unbelievable. And we're so excited. We've already had a debriefing from the first event, and we're set, I think, mid-February to have our second meeting for next year. And we want to make that annual and hopefully grow it.
Right. So I think there's a couple things for our listeners to kind of pick up on there that Justin's mentioned, and as you look at getting other people involved, especially young people. So it's not just about making a donation. Don't get me wrong. I think any school, organization, club, team, program, they're going to love a donation. But what I really liked with the robotics was, we're going to have a donation, but I'm going to ask you guys to put together a budget. I'm going to ask you guys to call and coordinate some travel and negotiate. So you're not just giving a check to help. You're doing that as well as helping to pour into them and kind of developing a skill set. And, could you imagine? We talk a lot of times about our younger team members. They're scared to death to just get on the phone. Could you imagine being a high school junior or senior? Someone's asked you to get on the phone and talk to a person and to negotiate. I mean, so that's a skill set that these folks are missing. And so to pour that into them, to kind of have them do it, they'll remember that. They may not always remember everything that took place, but they'll remember the time they had to get on the phone and negotiate with that charter company. As far as that goes. And then too, with the Gridiron Conference, there were several hundred athletes there. And, from just a message perspective, things that they may not be hearing at home, things around their mindsets and their character development. And, Katie Hill's a young man who was bound for the NFL and lost his leg in a vehicle accident. And to hear him tell that story and what he was thinking during those times and how he overcome those challenges, and that God has a different plan for him than maybe what he thought he had. It was very relatable. I know, just speaking for our program, the kids come back and they're talking about, oh, when he said this, and when he mentioned this, and, it really becomes an impact event for them. And you never know what these kids are going through. And so to be able to provide them something that is perhaps going to help them get through that adversity that they're facing at home or somewhere else in their personal life is just huge. So I think those are great things as far as that goes. So, Justin, if you were to give some advice to our listeners as entrepreneurs of just where to start, they have companies, they have a platform, they have a team that can help execute, but they're just not sure where to start to get something rolling. What would you tell them?
I think is dive into that gut. What do you have a dream about to give back to? And if you could set that platform, and it doesn't have to be financially, it could be time. We did a serve day through the Highlands Church where we selected Brooks High School and got to go out and work and pressure wash at the school and the cafeteria right before school went into session. I would say the second thing is if you are able to make a financial gain and you're a financial contribution, it's not all going to be easy. That press box, as you can see the wrinkles in my face, I give credit to that press box for some wrinkles. It was tough. The financial part was the easy part.
Mm-hmm.
Getting through the board, some of the negativity that came from other schools with the state, and then just the construction aspect and being against that timeline. I think, Brandon, we worked on that we've been talking about it for 3 years.
Right.
I think it took us over a year to get it drawn, and then, it took us a little less than a year to get it built. But there were some major hurdles, and at any time I could have just gave up. But you can't, if you got that fire burning, but let's go for it. And,
right.
Man, is it now? So those would be two things. Doesn't have to be financial, and when you set your heart to it, follow through.
Like it. Great. Well, I'm going to challenge all of our listeners. You have a platform, not only from a financial perspective, but also an influence standpoint, to change the lives of the people in your organization. Do something great for them, whether it's a leadership conference, whether it's a serve day, bringing the team together. I mean, there's tons of resources out there that can help you with that. But do something beyond just the Christmas bonus, right? Do something that's going to help them be better people. And then also look in your community. There's plenty of opportunity, but you do have to look for it in some cases. It's not always going to come to you. And as Justin said, find that area that you're passionate about. You might have to have some thick skin going into it. You think, hey, I'm giving here. Shouldn't this be easy? Well, it should be, but sometimes there's some hurdles. And so just be prepared for that. And, hey, the money's great, but change a life, really make an impact. Get your team involved in doing that as well. I know Justin's team was really involved in a lot of those things. So not only does it, just change you whenever you give, but it changes other people as well on your team. So I'm going to challenge everyone for, what we got left in 25. Go ahead and determine who that's going to be, what you're going to do. And in 26, make sure you follow through with it and do it. And, I'd love to hear some feedback from our listeners of who you selected, how you're changing their lives. And we'll follow up on this in 26. And maybe have some folks on who've been able to do some really cool things, because I just think it's one of those things that, if you want to change the direction of our country, you change the direction of our young people. And, we've got a great opportunity there. So cool. Mike, any other thoughts?
No, that was good.
Right. Justin, thank you as always. It was great to see you again. Appreciate all you've done for our local community. And thank you for helping, with the podcast today and giving our audience some ideas.
Guys, I'm always a call away. If some listeners have some questions, please feel free to forward, and I'll get an answer back to you the best of my ability. But thank you all for the opportunity.
Definitely. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Justin. Well, all right. Well, let's close it out. For Justin and Brandon, I'm Mike, and we will catch you all next week.
If you want to know more about driving sustainable profitability for your business, or are interested in learning more about CRI Simple Numbers, please visit our website at simplenumberscri.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of Profitability Playbook, the Simple Numbers Podcast. You can subscribe to Profitability Playbook on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you prefer to listen to podcasts. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review. This podcast is brought to you by CRI Simple Numbers LLC, a division of CRI Capital Group LLC, and a subsidiary of CRI Advisors LLC. CRI is the trusted brand under which Carr, Riggs & Ingram LLC, the CPA firm, and CRI Advisors LLC, along with its subsidiaries, deliver professional services. Please note, Carr, Riggs & Ingram LLC is a licensed independent CPA firm offering attest services, whereas CRI Advisors LLC and its subsidiaries specialize in providing tax and business consulting services. These entities operate within an alternative practice structure as defined by the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct and comply fully with applicable laws, regulations, and professional standards. Ready to simplify your business finances and drive growth? Explore valuable resources, books, and tools designed for entrepreneurs and small businesses at simplenumberscri.com.